Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, we have some truly explosive news coming out of Washington that might just shake the NFC East to its core. As many of you know, this offseason has been a roller coaster for the Commanders, especially when it comes to their wide receiver room. And let me tell you, the latest move might be one of the biggest shocks of the entire NFL offseason. We're talking about the Washington Commanders trading for none other than Davante Adams. Yes, you heard that right. Adams, one of the most prolific wide receivers in the league, potentially heading to Washington. That's a game changer, no doubt about it. The background of this situation is pretty interesting. The Commanders have been facing some tough decisions lately, especially with their star receiver, Terry McLaurin. Now, McLaurin, who's been a cornerstone for Washington's offense for years, has not yet received a contract extension. The team delayed negotiations, and as a result, McLaurin has reportedly requested a trade. That's a huge development. For a franchise that's been trying to build a winning culture and push for playoff success, losing your top receiver without a clear plan in place is far from ideal. Especially with Jayden Daniels now entering his second season as the starting quarterback, the team needs to surround him with talent, not lose it. This brings us to the potential solution, trading for Davante Adams. Now, Adams has been one of the league's most consistent and explosive wide receivers over the past several seasons. His ability to run precise routes, especially at the top of the curl or comeback routes, makes him a nightmare for defenses. The way he transitions into over-the-ball (OTB) routes is simply outstanding, and his hands are some of the best in the league. A player like Adams could be exactly what the Commanders need to help elevate their offense and give Jayden Daniels a true WR1 to throw to. But the interesting part is not just about the fit, it's about the strategic move from the Rams. The Los Angeles Rams, who made sure to bolster their wide receiver core this offseason, initially signed Adams to pair him with Puka Nacua. That looked like a promising duo, especially with Matthew Stafford at the helm, aiming to re-establish the Rams as contenders. However, things got complicated. Stafford's been dealing with back soreness during training camp, and if his issues persist into the season, the Rams' outlook might change drastically. Now, here's where it gets even more intriguing. If the Rams find themselves in a situation where they're not able to contend this season, they might pivot towards rebuilding. Instead of trying to squeeze out a playoff run, they could start looking at trading players like Adams for draft capital, especially if they're eyeing the possibility of selecting a quarterback like Arch Manning in the upcoming draft. You see, Adams, being a veteran star, would likely prefer to play for a team that's competing for a Super Bowl, not a rebuilding project. That's where Washington's potential interest comes in. The Commanders, with their developing offense and a young quarterback like Jayden Daniels, could be a perfect fit for Adams to thrive and help elevate the team to the next level. Imagine that for a moment. Jayden Daniels, a young quarterback with a lot of upside, throwing to a player of Adams's caliber. The chemistry potential alone gets you excited. Adams's route running and play style would complement Daniels' game beautifully. Not to mention, him lining up opposite Deebo Samuel, who is already a key part of the offense, would give the Commanders a versatile and dynamic receiving core that defenses would struggle to contain. Now, let's talk more about what this means for Washington's season. As of now, the Commanders are looking to build on their progress from last season. They finished with a record that showed promise, but they lacked the firepower at wide receiver to truly challenge the top teams. The addition of Adams would change that overnight. It would give them a true WR1, a receiver who can take over games, especially when the team needs a big play. For Jayden Daniels, having a receiver who can win one-on-one routes and make acrobatic catches adds a whole new dimension to the offense. And speaking of the season, the NFC East is shaping up to be more competitive than ever. The Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys have been building strong rosters, and the New York Giants are also expected to take a step forward. For Washington, making a move like acquiring Adams could be the difference between a playoff appearance and missing out entirely. It's not just about the talent, it's about sending a message to the rest of the league that the Commanders are serious contenders, ready to compete at the highest level and make a deep playoff run. This potential trade also raises questions about the future of the Commanders' roster. With McLaurin possibly on his way out, the team will need to find other ways to fill the void. Drafting or acquiring talented receivers in the draft or through trades will become a priority. But adding Adams instantly upgrades their passing game, giving them a proven veteran who can produce regardless of the scheme or opponent. His experience and clutch ability could be just what the Commanders need to push them over the edge. On the other side, for the Rams, trading Adams might be a strategic move to focus on rebuilding and acquiring draft picks. If Stafford's health issues persist, they might decide that a rebuild makes more sense than trying to contend this season. The draft capital gained from trading Adams could be used to select a franchise quarterback like Arch Manning, who many see as the future face of the franchise. This kind of strategic shift would be a huge story in itself, seeing a team like the Rams pivot from contending to rebuilding with a clear plan to develop the next generation. But back to Washington, what would this mean for their offense in terms of style and strategy? Well, with Adams on the field, you'd see a much more aggressive passing attack. His ability to create separation and make contested catches would open up the entire field for Jaden Daniels. It would also allow the offense to diversify, mixing in play-action passes, quick throws, and deep shots. It's the kind of upgrade that could turn a good offense into a great one. And let's not forget, Adams's veteran presence and leadership would be invaluable in the locker room. Younger players like Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel could learn a lot from him, and his professionalism would set a standard for the entire team. His arrival would send a message that the Commanders are committed to winning and building a roster capable of competing with the best. In the broader NFL landscape, this move would shake up the division and the conference. It could also influence other teams' strategies, as they see Washington making bold moves to improve their roster. This isn't just about one trade, it's about a shift in power dynamics. The NFC East has always been one of the most competitive divisions in football, and a move like this could help Washington become a serious contender again. Of course, there are questions that remain. Will the Rams really trade Adams? What draft capital would they require? And how would Washington navigate the salary cap and roster logistics to bring him in? These are questions only time can answer. But one thing is certain, the potential impact on the team, the division, and the entire league is enormous. As fans, we should be excited about the possibilities. A player like Davante Adams would be a huge boost for Washington, and it's exactly the kind of move that could propel them into serious playoff contention. The NFL is always full of surprises, and this offseason has already shown us that no move is too bold anymore. The Commanders are clearly looking to make some noise, and if they pull off a trade for Adams, it could be one of the defining moments of their franchise history. So, what do you think, Washington fans? Are you excited about the possibility of Adams wearing the burgundy and gold? Do you believe this move could be the missing piece for a deep playoff run? Or do you think it's too risky or unlikely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your opinions. Remember, this is just the beginning of what could be a truly transformative season for the Commanders. Stay tuned, because I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news about your Washington Commanders. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with all your fellow fans. Together, let's keep the passion alive and continue supporting our team through thick and thin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Commanders!